first Daily Bugle headline topic is ThreeZero. Is it collecting's best kept secret? Maybe. We're going to unpack it because they're a stealth hit sometimes, but sometimes they don't hit as hard. So we'll unpack it. We'll unpack it. Tom says that he's excited for this ThreeZero talk. I've been really excited because ThreeZero, they don't get enough love for the things that are so out there that they do. Like, anyway, we'll get. I almost just jumped into it straight away, but we're going to build up to it. So, Will, this is a figure that you had, that I had, that now I have again, that now you are thinking about getting again, and that tells you something. That tells you that this might just be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, dude, I'm pretty certain I will get this again because I really, really liked it. And the only reason I moved on from it is because my Game of Thrones display was, a lot smaller at the time, which is why I moved on. And also, honestly, I'm just going to be honest, I thought in-art would be more prolific. So then I thought there would be more chance for Game of Thrones characters to be made. And now I'm starting to see, okay, they'll probably make Jon, they'll probably make Dany. I don't think there's a 0% chance they're making Jaime, right? It's not happening. So I would say overall, this ThreeZero figure is a Hot Toys quality figure. This Jaime specifically. Some of the others too. Tormund, Tyrion's really, really good. There's some others like Brienne of Tarth is actually pretty solid from what I've seen. Some of the others though, like Jon Snow. Yeah, Night King is really good. The White Walker is actually really good. That's a sleeper, but the White Walker is really good, and that was like super cheap. But some of the others, like I know you said Sansa, Arya. The Hounds, people love the Hounds. The hair can sometimes get a little funky, but it's just, But overall, it's ThreeZero is absolutely a sleeper hit. But I think the problem they have is consistency as far as head sculpts. Tailoring, great. Accessories, great. Besides bases, they need to include. God, please, ThreeZero, if you're listening, like please bases. We'll pay $15 to $20 more.
Actually, that's a good point. I'll ask them. If I go to ACGHK this year, I've already spoken to them about meeting up and talking to the team. I promise, for anyone who wants bases with your ThreeZero figures, I will straight up ask them, is this something that you might be able to do in the future? Even offer it as if you don't want to include it in the box, offer it as a separate thing that you can buy just with the Game of Thrones logo on it. Don't even have to put the nameplate on it.
Right.
Just separately. You could buy 5, 10, 15.
Yeah, or make that the deluxe version. Like give it a base. There you go. Yeah, and then a collector's edition without the base. It's just, but dude, their Transformers figures are really good. I've never.
We're getting there.
But I have seen them, Justin. I have seen them in person. Because I went to Kiko's and I saw the Game of Thrones, the Transformers figures. I have that Drogon, the Drogon ThreeZero.
Oh yeah,
dude. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. Right, the paint apps are a little bit. Like kind of, it makes Drogon kind of look like a little slimy, which is a good thing, right? I think it makes him look really natural and has texture to it. And under the right lighting, like a Maji case, dude, that Drogon shines. A lot of people said on my collection tour, they were like, that Drogon, dude. Like it's a really nice piece. And no one bought it because it was like $1,500. And that's why they only made 144 of them, because no one bought it because it's a 6 scale $1,500 piece, right? So, but it's amazing.
And it's huge.
This Jaime, it is, dude. That's I built like most of my Mod case display around that Drogon. He takes about 30 inches in depth to fit him in there. So he's big. But dude, this Jaime figure I will pick up again. I'm gonna put it next to the Iron Throne and Drogon and all that. I'm just waiting for the right time. But yeah, man, ThreeZero is underrated. I think, like I said, consistency is the problem, but I think also the IPs that they have. I think that's part of it. It's just, like I said, in a market where there's so many options, Game of Thrones after season 8, people really don't care. And I think Transformers, I think people care, but not as much in the States, I feel like. I think that's more, and like on these live streams where we tend to, migrate, it's just not a lot of people talking about Transformers stuff. So
agreed.
I think that's part of it. So I think, and Stranger Things, kind of same deal. Like everyone loves Stranger Things, but it's kind of like Harry Potter. Do people collect Stranger Things at high end? They collect Funko Pops and they'll buy like DVDs and retro Stranger Things stuff, but will they buy a $200 Stranger Things figure? And that's the question. And I think it's just the IPs they have. Walking Dead is done, right? And there's
a new show now.
Yeah, well that's true. They got the Negan and
Dead City
show. Yeah, which I've heard is pretty solid so far. But
yeah, me too.
Yeah, so
I might give
but
it a
dude,
go.
this
Maybe.
Jamie man, you finally got me because you knew
Yeah.
Jamie's one of my
I
favorite characters from Game of Thrones. He and John were my favorite two characters. So I didn't like what they did to Jamie in the end, but it is what it is. So it's but yeah, man, 3-0 is sorry to ramble on, but 3-0
Oh,
is
it's fine.
3-0 is a well-kept secret, but they're also like nothing's holding value right now anyway, but you can get 3-0 figures often super cheap. Like they just
Yeah.
go way down. They just don't hold any value whatsoever for whatever because people just don't. They're focused on other stuff. That's why.
Yeah. I think that is one of the key reasons why they might just be one of collecting's best kept secrets because not a lot of people buy them,
Yeah,
which
no.
means that they can be really affordable. And if you're looking for TV stuff, Walking Dead, Stranger Things, Game of Thrones, they have some pretty solid licenses, but also now they're doing anime.
Yeah.
1/6 scale anime figures. They started off with Naruto or Naruti, however you want to say it. People flame me for my pronunciation. I'm so sorry. Now they're doing Chainsaw Man, which was one of my favorite new animes. This is a really, really, really good show. Will, you should give it a go because it's quite short. And I think you would like it because people who like Attack on Titan have said that they also like this show.
Oh,
And I know
okay.
you like Attack on
Dude,
Titan. It's
I
very
love it,
bloody,
bro.
this one, though. So it's
Dude,
quite
Attack on
gory.
Titan is super bloody. So
There you
it's
go. So
well,
that's
3-0 did Saitama. They did One Punch Man
yes,
also.
One Punch
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So they've done a couple of anime figures. I'm hoping that they do more. I would love My Hero Academia. I would love Dragon Ball. And the best part about anime figures is that the likenesses, are a little bit easier to capture because they're 2D people. And translating that to 3D is an art in and of itself, but not quite as challenging potentially as that Jamie head sculpt. So for anime 1/6 scale figures, they're kind of the only game in town right now. And this Chainsaw Man, I think, looks pretty freaking cool. And the articulation looks on point, and the blood effects look good, and the chainsaws look pretty real. You get multiple different head sculpts. It can be Denji or it can be Chainsaw Man. So another reason why I think they might be a pretty well kept secret is because not a lot of people are talking about 1/6 scale anime, but I think they might be. Anime is having a bit of a resurgence, especially with this Chainsaw Man show. People who never really got into anime, they're talking about this, and so much so that at the recent con that I went to, there were so many Chainsaw Man cosplays. So
Really?
many. A lot. There were a lot.
Isn't anime,
So,
Justin, kind of like because I love Attack on Titan, but isn't anime? It's just like a trendy thing to like right now. It's kind of like the hipster
it
thing
is.
to like.
It's
You know what I
hot.
mean? Like
Yeah.
everyone's just like, oh, you watch anime, like you watch Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan, and you know all this other stuff. Like it's just like a trendy thing right now. It's like it's cool to be nerdy about anime. So
Yeah.
I think it's great, bro. Because I mean, Attack on Titan, that's really. I mean, I've watched other animated like Avatar, but people don't consider that anime. So it's
Yes.
just yeah, I want to get more into it though.
Check out Chainsaw Man. It's quite short. I think you'll
Okay.
like it. It's not a crazy long. It's only one season right now. Um, Isaac says, "I wish they included a bloody shirt." Yes, I agree. For Chainsaw Man, a bloody shirt would be a nice touch, but it's just a 1/6 scale white shirt. I can definitely get a shirt and flick some blood on it. It's a little bit of a customizing project. For Power Rangers, 3-0, also the only game in town. This license is huge. So much so that my Power Rangers, the massive pack unboxing, it was viewed an insane amount of times, more than I would have ever expected, because Power Rangers is very, very popular. People in the 90s love Power Rangers, who grew up in the 90s love Power Rangers. Also, kids love Power Rangers because it's still going somehow. It's still going. So this license might, I think, be their biggest hit. The Power Rangers line for them is alongside Transformers. When people talk about 3-0, they either talk about their Power Rangers or their Transformers. This line, I think they need to keep going, and they need to go a little bit harder than they have. Because for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, there's a whole length and breadth of characters that they haven't done yet. And these are just very visually striking figures. This is the latest. This is an exclusive, and it's very, very inexpensive. I think it's under $100 or just over. I don't know.
Yeah, the Power Rangers are like really well priced. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're inexpensive.
Really well priced.
But this is a cool figure. I really like this. This is really
it's
cool.
Striking. Striking.
It has a lot of presence. Yeah.
Yeah. I think people are going to gravitate towards the Power Rangers line as they keep making more. But this, I'm so excited for this, Will. Rise of the Beasts, I enjoyed. Did you see it?
Dude, no, but I wanted to. I heard it's really good. People have been telling
It's
me
on digital
all
now. You may
positive
as
things.
well.
Oh, it's on digital?
Yeah, you may. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It just
then
came out on
absolutely.
the 11th, so you
Oh,
may as
cool. Then
well.
absolutely I'll watch it.
Yeah, rent it, buy it, whatever. But I really liked it. It wasn't as good as Bumblebee. Bumblebee was fantastic,
Mm.
but it was better than any of the other Transformers film by a big margin, I think. So there was a story and there was character development, and that's what you want. And the human characters were very believable and relatable. Um, and I think it was just a really solid movie.
Mm.
So that means that the excitement level for this, The Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, and seeing as though it's got a lot of reuse from the first Bumblebee, it's going to come out pretty quickly. So, yeah. If you look at the audience score on Rise of the Beast, Will, it's actually the highest for any Transformers film, including Bumblebee.
Yeah, I saw it was, and then the critic score was like pretty decent, like a 60 or something, but then the
Critic
audience score
score has
was like
dropped.
super. Has it?
Yeah, it's at 53 now, which is
53.
it means half the critics liked it, half didn't. So it's kind of
Right.
like a 50-50. You'll either like it or you won't like it.
Right,
But the
right.
audience score is the highest of any Transformers film. So I
Mm.
don't know if folks out there which one they take into account. But anyway, back to ThreeZero. This is their pinnacle. Engineering,
Yeah.
die-cast content, paint applications, LED light-up features, and the most important, display bases. Oh yes. You get display bases with these bad boys. This is insane. The amount of articulation that you get out of this bee, like you can do a 3-point landing pose. Who would have thought that something as busy as this, it's got shit everywhere, car parts everywhere, it can pull off something as crazy as that. And the detail, oh my god! You can even see like the the circle thing for the engine. I don't know engines. I'm so sorry. In his chest, that would have the belt around it that would rotate around, and the pistons, and this is just beautiful. Just visually speaking,
Yeah.
there is so much to look at here. I cannot wait to review this thing. I think it's going to pop on camera, and the
Yeah.
proportions are super accurate. And yes, it doesn't transform. I know Transformers that don't transform, people get mad about that. But this is just a high-end, super accurate version of Bumblebee in, I think, his best live-action look. It's got all the proportions of the Bumblebee movie version, but it's got the Camaro thrown in, which is to throw back to the 2007 movie.
Yeah.
So for me, this is my new favorite Bumblebee live action. And the wings split like that, they're top and bottom. Oh, I just can't get over how good this looks.
I think this looks really good, man. Justin, the only thing I was wondering with an 8-inch figure like that, do you ever
Mhm.
get these and you're like, man, I wish this figure were bigger? Does that ever happen?
Well, they do the premium scale line too, but I think they're too big. So the way I
Mm,
see it is they're not in scale with your Hot Toys,
right.
but they're the same scale, if that makes sense. They're the same size. So
Okay.
Optimus Prime is 12 inches. So he's, visually speaking, in a display, he'll be the same height as your Hot Toys. Whereas
Yeah.
Bumblebee, to be accurate scale wise, is a little bit smaller. But I just see that as, it's very hard to describe because they're not 1/6 scale, but they're the same size as those figures. So
Gotcha.
for me, it's the perfect size because it fits in line with all of my other figures, even though they're not in scale with them. I don't care about that. I just want height consistency, and that's what they bring.
Yeah. Well, I do with 3-0 and their Transformers, the engineering that they pull off with those figures is just
Oh, Prime.
it's
Damn.
remarkable. It's a work of art, and that's I think where they really shine. Some of their figures are true bangers, like Jamie, like I said. But when you have these
Yeah.
Transformer figures, like I've saw the Megatron in person, bro. The Megatron is crazy, like with the
Yeah.
shield and the sword and. That's just a beautiful figure. It's just stunning. And these look great, bro. These look absolutely fantastic. And the amount of detail in the parts, like the engines and the car parts and just the robotics, this is pretty remarkable. And this, I think, is where 3-0 is the secret that people keep because their Transformers line, bro, like everyone speaks nothing but highly and praises this Transformers line. It's really good. It's just Transformers doesn't quite have in the States that Marvel or Star Wars level of hype. So that's why we just don't talk about it as much. But if we did, then these would clearly be at the front of every live stream because they're really good quality, apparently. Clearly. Yeah.
Yeah. Figure Alpha says, I wonder if Hot Toys will make a Transformer that actually transforms. Well, they did make a Transformer. They made one Optimus Prime, and it wasn't great. But nobody else can make Transformers that can transform except for Hasbro and Takara because they own the brand. And they are the
Right.
only ones that are able to make figures that can transform. So no, nobody will ever.
Well, Hot Toys made the Black Panther, but that's it.
Oh God.
The mech
Oh,
Black
oh,
Panther. Yeah.
oh no. Action in the Box says why they don't do 1/6 scale Transformers. Well, if you can imagine,
Yeah,
Optimus
it'd be
Prime
dope.
can hold Shia LaBeouf in his hand like that. He's like this big. So that means that it would be bigger than you if it was a 1/6 scale Optimus Prime. He'd be
Right.
taller than that. So you'd like to pose him, you'd be like up here somewhere.
Right.
Um, it's impossible. Well, it's possible, but no,
Yeah, it wouldn't make sense. Yeah.
it's no. I think having them the same size as your 1/6 scale figures, that was the best call, because height consistency, that just means that it's not going to look out of place being at the same height as all your other figures. That to me is the perfect scale. It's what I was hoping they would do for a long time, and now they have. But this Optimus Prime, also now my favorite live action Optimus Prime design. I didn't think it was going to, because they added the silver things, eyebrows above the cab on the truck. They
Yeah.
also got rid of the red for his ab section. I just think that helps block out the colors a bit more. And accessory sharing too. Bumblebee does use this Prime's axe in the movie. You'll have to wait and see, Will. But damn, this Prime.
Well, if I love the movie, Justin, this could be something I consider, because I've always wanted to get a 3-0 Transformers figure, but every time I see them, I'm like, man, I just wish I liked Transformers more, because these figures are just so good. And like when I saw
Yeah.
Kiko's, I saw the Optimus Prime and the Megatron. That Megatron has always appealed to me. Every time I saw that Megatron with the shield, I think it was the Last Night Megatron. Every time I
Yes.
see it, I'm just like, that figure is just amazing. It's remarkable, but I just don't love Transformers enough to buy it. But maybe this film will change that. So
Maybe it's set in the 90s. Love the 90s.
I
Music
grew
is
up in the
great.
90s.
There you
So
go. So it might hit hard. It hit hard for me. So it might hit
yeah.
hard for you too.
Yeah.
I bought. It's weird because the film came out here 2 weeks later than it did in anywhere else in the world, actually.
Mm.
So when people were saying it's out on digital, I was like, oh, cool. So I went and pre-ordered it on iTunes because I wanted to watch it in 4K HDR. And everyone else is watching it, but mine still says it's on pre-order because I guess maybe they delayed it, like the theatrical release. They've delayed the digital, but nobody's talking about it, including Paramount. So I don't know when I'm going to get my pre-order. So it's like Hot Toys, I guess. It'll come when it
Yeah.
comes.
Yeah.
uh,
Australia is usually in the future, but not this time.
Not this time. Yeah, and the price point for these crazy, super well engineered Transformers figures, with full of diecast, might I add, very heavy.
Yeah.
Very, very reasonable. So that, in summary, is why I think yes, 3-0 is collecting's best kept secret, because the price point is relatively low. The array of characters that they make in terms of TV, classic, anime. We got Naruto, and now they're doing Chainsaw Man, so not just classic, but also modern anime. The engineering with the Transformers, premium scale and DLX scale, and now the smaller scale too, MDLX scale. They're hitting pretty hard. They're on the right
Yeah.
track. So I'm hoping that they keep the trajectory going. I'm excited to see more figures from this Transformers Rise of the Beast line, especially Scourge, the villain, voiced by Peter Dinklage. Very powerful performance. I liked the villain in this movie. I'm curious to hear what Will has to say, and we will check back in when he has watched the movie, because now it is available on digital. So 3-0, I think they are a very well kept secret, but maybe not for long. You all should get on that. Get on it. Check them out.
Yeah. And I'm going to get Jamie Lannister.